Anyway, welcome guys. The first class back from the August little break. I hope you guys had a wonderful little pause to the online program. Man, I
Uh,
have done like a ton load of research. I don't even know where to begin. There's a lot of stuff we got to cover. It's probably going to span the next 3 months. So we're looking at September, October, November, and then December we'll do some fine tuning stuff depending on how you guys feel. You guys, it'll kind of be your time to tell me if there's anything you specifically want to work on. Okay. Now, let me just explain to you some stuff about Sistema's kind of training methodology and the route we're going to take with it. Okay. So I want you to think of, like a coil. So think of like, I think it's called a helix or like a coil thing, right? So at the very base of the helix, you have your basic stuff: push-ups, squats, leg raises, breathing, punches, kicks, escapes, grab and escapes, like all the very basic stuff. And then if you want to go up that helix, if you want to go up to the next level of the spring, you add more detail. You just keep adding more detail. So you're better, your breathing becomes better, you relax a little bit more, and then you start to go up. And then, you pay attention to your partners, you practice a little bit at home, up you go, and you slowly go up the helix, right? But you end up getting to the top, and then you start all the way back down again from the beginning, and you work your way up. And every time you do it, it's like a distillation process. Okay, so every time you distill an alcohol, it becomes more pure. That you purify. Every time you go through this process, it should become better. So we're going to start off in September with developing a solid practice, or developing solid attributes of practice, so that when we come to class, whenever you get to your training class, you get more out of it. It's like, for me to show up to a training camp, I must have already put in many hours of training before I step foot on there. Okay, you've got to put in. So this is going to help you develop a foundation of your solid practice that will allow you to show up to your classes already ready. Like, I've put in the time to understand what the instructor is saying and what the lesson is trying to teach you. A lot of people show up to class and they haven't put in enough time. And then the teacher's talking and they're nodding their head, but they haven't put in the time to truly understand what that is. Okay. So there's obviously the physical stuff, the mental stuff, and then also more the psychological and the deeper work. Okay. Which I know we kind of ended on, and I know you really enjoyed it. We're going to get there again, but we're going to kind of go through that process. I think it's going to be very, very important for us to do, right? And developing a process of training yourself when you're not in the gym is the single most important thing that I could tell you guys. You need to develop that, and it needs to also be reinvented. I change mine every year. I add something to mine that I never had before. Does that make sense, guys? You're good. You're good with all of that. So we all know the breathing is fundamental, and we all know movement is fundamental. And these are wonderful things because we don't have to think about them too much. Okay, if I'm really want to work, I don't have to think about it. I want you to have a routine that doesn't require you to think a lot about it. You just do it. It's just done. It's just putting in the hours, like, and then that leads to some more insight. Okay, so that's what we're going to develop for the month of September. As you guys know, all these classes are going to be pre-recorded. They're going to be already for you to watch on the Fight Club site, so you don't have to worry. It's on the training videos. You just got to log in. If you have a problem, you send me the info. The login is private, so it's just yours. You don't have to, yet for people to get access to those videos, it has to be pre-approved by me. So it's only students of the club as well as you guys online that are watching this. Okay, you're good. Any questions? Anything pending on anybody? So just on a side note, before we begin the class, I'm also working with another couple of big companies that are really big into the somatics, the psychosomatic elements of mind-body connection. They've reached out to me. These are non-Systema people. They're mostly healers of sorts, and they've sourced me out and asked me to be part of a quite unique group. And I'm going to be making a lot of videos on pain. I'm going to be making a lot of videos on very niche topics that more for non-Systema, but they're just for just good people. I think you'll enjoy it. I don't know what you want to call it. And I will also record those and share those with you. So you'll have access to these videos they're going to be paying quite a bit more than you guys to just have access to these videos. So enjoy them. I'm going to be making them with really niche topics. So I think you'll get a kick out of it. Okay. You guys ready to go? So be comfortable. Just sit down, but don't lie down yet. Just sit. I'm sitting on like a medicine ball right on a Swiss ball, but just kind of sit, right, and feel yourself nice and straight. And yeah, Aaron, if you could just get you to mute. You're not making noise, but if you could just mute, I can mute you on my end too, but I don't want to play God on this side. I'm hearing you. Okay, stay nice and straight. And I want you to start to breathe, but I want you to pay real close attention to your inhale. So as you breathe in, if you can break your inhale down to the beginning, the middle, and the end. So as I breathe in, there's a beginning part of it, there's a middle part of it, and then there's the end part of it. And then just breathe out. Don't worry about the out, but just start to breathe in and bring really close attention to the beginning, the middle, and the end of an inhale. That's it. Don't force more breath. As you start to relax, you'll feel it. And you'll also start to feel how your inhale will most likely become um, longer than your exhale because you're paying more attention to it. Without losing a beat, switch your focus to the exhale now. Same process. Don't even pause. Just shift your awareness now to the exhale. As you breathe out, beginning, middle, end. Now, without losing a beat, breathe in and breathe out like you've been doing, but now shift your focus to that exact moment that inhale goes to exhale and exhale goes to inhale, the transition part. So don't worry about the middle. You just that place where beginning and ending start. It's where the circle flips. So all the focus as I'm full and then as I go out, or as I go out and then it goes to in. Pay attention to those two spots. Awesome. Okay. How was that? How did that feel? You can unmute if you need, guys. How did it, did you, so remember I told you how you practice breathing, but now if you want to go up that spiral, and ascend towards the upper levels, you need to bring more detail. So I just gave you beginning, middle, end. You might go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Like you can break this down as much as you can, right? Um, for those of you that are question, somebody have a question?
I noticed when you relax your body, your breathing flows much better, much easier.
Great. So so there's a word out there called PRE, which is perceived rate of exertion. So I can turn to an athlete and I say, how hard are you working? And he goes 5 out of 10. I'll turn to another guy, how hard are you working? 7 out of 10. Okay. Like at any given moment, you need to know how hard you're working as a number out of 10, as a number of 10, right? But your breath should also, you should bring that same awareness to your breath cycle. So at any given moment, you should know, are you 70% full? Are you 80% full? Are you 90%? You know, where are you with your breathing, right? And that perception for you to know and be aware of your breathing at that level, that's remarkable. Okay. I don't know if you guys watched yesterday, there was a big tennis match on in the US Open. It was a Canadian girl, 19-year-old girl, phenom, just is going to the finals now. I watched the entire event. Guys, 19 years old, and she's mowing down experience. Guess what she's doing when she's sitting, breathing? It was crazy. The cameras caught it. There she was, deep breathing, like through the whole match. 19 years old, and she found the power of breathing. And she's going now to the finals of the US Open. Okay, that's high up there. Watch the match in 2 days. It's good. Anyway, it's pretty phenomenal what she's doing. So by focusing on your in, by focusing on your out, and then by focusing on the transition, wow, that's some powerful stuff. Okay, that's how you're going to start to understand breathing, and you're going to start and what I want you to do is now you're doing beginning, middle, end. Then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to put 5 layers, and then you're going to put 10 layers in there. You're going to make sure that you're able, when you're breathing in, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, and you're going to feel that. We're going to work up to that. That's just for now. Okay, does that make sense? I'm not sure everybody's so serious about the breathing. Don't let the breathing get you serious. Breathing is wonderful. Okay, it's like don't get serious about it. You're serious when you need it, but now don't be serious. Okay, let's get up. Yeah, so that's it. That's a starting point. Let me just make sure you guys can see me. Everybody see me okay, or should we back this up a little bit? Is that better? Everybody can still hear me good? You can hear me good? Okay, good. So now you're gonna start to walk, okay? But hold on, I gotta turn the camera. It looks like it's cutting me off. There we go. Okay. Or is that too much light now? Sorry, guys. I'll get this perfected soon. Okay. So now every time you walk, even it doesn't have to be a lot, but when you change your direction, you change your breath. So if I'm inhaling, walking towards you, and I walk back, I exhale. If I inhale going to one side, I exhale, I go to the other. So every time there's a change of direction, there's a change of the breath. Okay. And it's just with a walk. Don't do it with anything more. It's just with the walk. Okay, good. Stop where you are. Now, when you're walking, I want you to bring all your awareness to your left leg. So I don't think about your right at all. Just as you're walking, whether it's forward or backwards, pay attention to everything that's going on with your left leg. So bring great awareness only to the left leg. Think of how your foot touches the ground, how your knee bends, how your hip moves. What muscles? Do you feel your hamstring? Can you feel your quad? Do you feel your knees? Do you feel your calves, your toes? Like bring awareness to everything that's happening as you walk to the left leg. Without losing a beat, your right leg. Shift all your focus. So look at how your right leg is stepping. Try to feel the difference between your right and your left. Try to figure out how are the muscles working, how the knee, the ankle, is there an old injury on that side or the other side? Try to analyze what's happening. Awesome. How was that, guys? Did you feel a difference between the right and left? Anything that you observed at all?
The parts that you have injured in the past seem to be like more aware.
Okay. So, but when you brought attention to that part, for me, I noticed I was stepping lighter. When I thought of something, for some strange reason, I softened it. I brought more. Remember, guys, it's like you put a spotlight on something, right? You know, if you, it's like, you know, you say to somebody, tell me who you are, and you put a spotlight on them. They'd be like, it's a little, first it's, you slow down your answer. It's not so, by bringing attention to something, you start to bring more details to it. Like I'm hoping that when you watch something, you bring more detail to it, right? So, yeah, Karen, you could just hop in, just unmute and talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was I noticed, so I'm left-handed, so very dominantly one side. But when you did that, when we were doing that exercise and the last part where you said not left or right, but how the flow is between the two, I
Yeah.
suddenly felt in light of your comment just now that my right side wanted to step out more, like it wanted to take over more responsibility. It wanted to help more. It wanted to do more. So I found
Yeah.
myself leaning more towards the right, like more movement toward my right side.
It's a great observation. For me, guys, what I noticed, that's hard to show you, but I'll see if you guys can see it. For my right leg, the right side of my leg tends to swing more. It's like I, and For years I had a cast, right? I had a cast and I always used to just swing this leg. And I do better quality stepping with my left leg, but with my right leg, I tend to just swing it or kick it out. And it usually goes out almost like a duck. It goes out sideways. And when I focus on it, I'm much better at the quality of the step, right? It's not as lazy of a walk as you can, if you could imagine. So you'll notice these little things because you want to notice subtle things about yourself, because it's hard to notice them unless you see videotape yourself all the time. Okay, just something to think about. Now if you add running, that'll change too. Running will just accentuate it. So if I say run around, you'll also see that as well. Okay, so again, we're adding a practice. Everybody walks, I get it, but now we're adding more detail. We're saying left and right. Now it's like, oh, okay, that's always a good thing to you could do this with almost anything. Okay, does that make sense? Or you could see how that could benefit you, right? It's incredible amount of ways by saying left and right, how that will change. Now, we didn't get to the arms yet, but we will. Okay, but I just want to stick with the legs for a quick moment. So just stand up again. Stand up. Let me just tilt the camera a tiny bit. Okay, so now feet are about shoulder width apart. Okay, and what I want you to do is shift your upper body so that you've got 2/3 of your weight over the left leg. Okay, bring yourself down just maybe 6 inches or something, right? So most of the weight is on this leg. Go over and come up. So it's like a box. Okay, so I go over, I go down a little bit, I go across, and I come up. Okay, and it just, so it's not a straight squat. It's not like this. It's not a straight squat. It's a little bit off and it's heavy onto one leg, shifting to the other leg, and then it comes up. Yeah, do that like 10 times one way.
Can you tilt the camera down so we can see your feet?
Sure. Feet are staying still. It's pretty much a squat, but is that better? Good, yeah. So feet shoulder width apart, and I just shift, right? So I've got about 20% here, but it's about 80% here, or 75. Down, across, up, across, down, cross, up. Yeah, and just, and you can change the direction. You might find a little bit of a difference, but now you're not doing a traditional middle squat. You're just going off to one side, across and up, down, across, up. Of course, you can add breathing into all of this. Won't go there, but you can, but I want you to feel how your legs, how weight shifts to one side and up. And maybe going from left to right is easier than right to left. I don't know. Maybe one leg will want to take over. Okay, good. That's one way. Second way, okay? So stay at the top, put your arms out as well too, just so you see it a little bit better, right? So it's like I'm going from one side, and then every time I go lower. It's like a zigzag, lower, 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 and then zigzag to come up. That's it. Keep going, guys. Do at least 5 of them. Let me just watch you for a sec. Make sure you're doing. Yeah, try not to bend too much. Don't bend forward. It's very subtle movement now. You're doing a squat, but you're changing it a little bit. This is how you start to understand your legs a little bit better. Nice, Miro. Nice. Not bad, guys. Just come close for a sec. So some of you are playing with your hip, right? So you're kind of like doing stuff like this with your hips, right? What you want to imagine is there's two people on either side. One person pulls me this way, and then another person pulls me this way, and slowly I'm going down. So it's like the whole body is moving. It's like somebody's pulling my arm this way, and then somebody's pulling my arm that way, pulling, and then I go down. But it's like I'm being pulled. Don't like kind of move with the hips too much. Kind of keep your hips pretty straight and just move with the whole body. Try two, just try two like that, because there were some mistakes there. That's it. That's it, Karen. Awesome. Much better, guys. Much better. Good. You can practice this on your own as well. It's something that it's remarkable. Again, we're used to doing the traditional, squats, right? The traditional squats in Systema. But this small variation of left and right allows you to see which leg is stronger, which leg is smoother, because they're not the same. They're going to be a little bit different. It allows you to pinpoint a little bit more of the work you need to do. Okay. Up and down are different, left and right are different. Okay. They're going to vary. Thing. This is very good, especially for those of you that have been dealing with an injury and haven't fully addressed the impacts. Because before somebody kicks out your knee, make sure you understand how stable or unstable that knee is, or the hip is, or the back is, right? So it allows you to kind of check if everything is okay. Make sense? Okay, so next one. So you're here, right? Take a step forward, okay? Take a step forward, okay? And what I want you to do, put your hands out for some balance. I'll give you a sideways look. So now I'm gonna bring my weight over my front knee. And then I'm gonna bring the weight back to my back knee. So it's like here, I'm putting it back here, okay? Then I'm gonna go forward onto my front knee and back towards my back knee. Okay, it's almost like you're surfing. I know it sounds kind of funny, right? And you can switch the legs. So I shift weight on top of the front leg. I feel what that's happening. I shift weight back and I put it on this leg. And just do it. Hold it for like 5 seconds. See how that leg feels, and then shift it back. See how that leg feels. And then you can switch anytime. Okay. Forward, knee kind of in front of the foot. Back knee. Yeah. That's it. Keep going. Keep going. And see how the stability feels. See how the stability of your knee, your hip, your leg feel. So this is generally how people damage their knees. They put a lot of weight on the knee, and then there's an impact that comes from the left or from the right. And this is where the start of a problem. Yeah. Yeah, try at least 5 on each side. 5 on each side. Great, great. Okay, same thing again now, right? So take a step, okay? But this time, put 50-50, like find the balance point. So I feel some weight here, and I feel the equal amount here. Put your hands out and try to lower yourself, the whole thing down, okay? Now, don't get up just on the front leg. Activate the back leg so you're coming up with both legs, hands to the side, and come up. And then switch it. So the trick now is to give the load to both legs. Balance yourself and lower yourself with control. And then slowly come up. Yeah. It's that last couple inches that's critical. Lower, 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 down nice. Now, when you get up, relax yourself and just come up. Okay. How was it?
You
How was that?
exhale, you're down,
Stay.
you go down, inhale up, right?
Yeah, you want to, there's no real thing wrong with the breathing as long as you
Oops, can you hear?
Did you feel it? Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So which was easier, left or right or backwards and forwards?
Um, not much difference.
Okay, okay. So you want to find, like for me, the balance on the front and back was much different than the balance left and right. Left and right, I was pretty good, but front and back, I found, you know, like surfing, you know, it's kind of was like a challenging me, right? Did you feel how much awareness you need to make sure that both legs are working equally, right? Because so this is what ends up happening when we're under a duress. Somebody's wrestling hard with us, let's say. That's a duress, right? Wrestling hard. We start to use the front leg, let's say, like we use something too much and we forget about the other parts of the body. So what you're training yourself to do is, okay, yes, my front leg is here, but I want to shift so that it's more of an equal balance, right? The same thing happens when we have a lot of problems in life, guys. Problems tend to attract most of our attention. And when you tell people how to handle problem is be grateful, not for the problem, but for other things, like balance things out, right? Don't bring too much attention to the problem. Be able to say, but okay, this is a problem, but there's other things. Like there's also being able to see the whole field is not just the big problem that you have, okay? So yes, Karen, go ahead.
Just in light of what you're saying and what the other gentleman was saying, I wanted to say something. So I used to do a lot of boxing and was trained to hold a certain position with one leg forward and one leg back.
Yep.
When we were doing this exercise that way, super confident, super like I can feel my core, I can feel everything, knows what it's supposed to do from a body perspective. The moment I put the other foot forward and the other foot back, the opposite for me, I could feel the lack of confidence. I could feel the uncertainty and even not being able to hold the balance properly. And so you were talking about this bigger picture. So I'm very spiritual. I do a lot of, chakra work, that kind of thing. One of the big things right now is my right side is not as balanced as my left side. And the right side, as we're talking and doing these exercises, I can feel energetically that this is exactly where my focus is supposed to be. So it's just sort of about a bigger collective.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. And when I have a weakness, like, so I got pretty good with my left hand after I broke my right hand. I don't want the same thing for you guys. You don't have to break something to get good at the other thing. You can balance it. Like, so whenever I find a weakness in my body or somewhere that needs work, I just first bring attention to it, not judgment, attention. And then by that attention, it can almost always fix it completely. So, the old thing, use the weaker side twice as much, not to get it better, but to be more comfortable. That's a different story than getting better, right? So that's a whole other thing. We want to get more comfortable, which is great. Makes sense, guys? So please practice these things. Remember that thing I told you, people do their squats. This is where they are. You want to go up this spiral, you want to grow, you bring more detail. This back and forth, left and right work brings more detail to your squat. I guarantee you, after doing this for a little while, your squat will be perfect because both legs will be in sync with each other. You'll know the strength and weaknesses of both parts, okay? Make sense? Okay, stand up. So start to walk like before, okay? But this time, I want you to focus everything that's happening to your left arm. So the way it swings, don't change it. Don't change anything, but just pay attention to when you walk, how the shoulder down, how it moves. Like, is it, heavy, or does it swing freely? Does it go forward better than backwards? Does it move at all? Does it have any kind of movement whatsoever in it? No, just pay attention to everything on your arm on the left side. And now to the right side. So you're shifting your focus to the right arm and how it swings. Don't worry about the left right now. Just pay attention to the right. Now bring awareness to both of them. So right and left, and try to pay attention to if they're in sync with each other. If they feel like they're doing what each other's supposed to be doing. Usually it's forward and backwards, right? Okay, very good. I don't know if you noticed or how you found it, but when I focus, for me, when I focused on each arm, I found that my left arm swung with more deliberateness, and my right side was more floppy. I just was a little bit more floppy. When I focused on both at the same time, I screwed it all up. It's like my arms screwed the whole thing up. I'm like, my arm said, "Why are you paying attention to us? Why are you looking at us?" Like, it's like, we know what to do. Leave us alone. It's like, for those of you with teenagers, that's what teenagers are like. That's why I know this, right? If you start to watch, you ask teenager why they're doing so, why you care? Why you want to know? Why they get so defensive about it, right? So it's just something, because when you try, so in martial arts, when you try to tell the two arms to do something, it doesn't work as good as if you just let them do what they want to do. Let them figure it out. This is an interesting thing, right? So something to just think about. The arms, they're kind of like teenagers. They don't like to be told what to do. They want to figure it out on their own. Otherwise, it becomes like and that's for me. Maybe for you, you'll see something different. Okay, awesome. Go to the ground. Just an observation. Go to the ground. Okay. So hands beside you. Stay on your knees. You don't have to go into a full push-up. Just stay on your knees for now, right? So I'm sliding my body over, like, so I'm sliding part of my chest towards my hand a little bit, and then I'm coming up. Okay, stay on your knees for now, just to make it. I'm going over, I'm going down, and then I'm sliding across, up, across, down. Now, the opposite hand should have some weight bearing on it. It's not completely a single arm push-up, right? Go across and down, and then you can switch the direction anytime. Awesome, good. Push yourself a tiny bit. So I'll show you this way, right? So I slide back, I come up, I go forward, I come down. So ideally, so you guys know, so when you're teaching a push-up, you tell people to put their hands like that on the ground, okay? And the thumb should be touching just the touch of the chest. That's the proper push-up. It's not on your shoulders. It's so if this is where my nipple is, just to give you a point of reference, your thumb should be right there, okay? Not up here, right here, okay? So, and then you push up, right? Yeah. So that's a point of reference, but a small correction. So I'm going up straight, and what I'm doing now is I'm not going up straight, I'm going behind this line. So I'm here, I'm going behind it. So now my thumb is towards my shoulder. I come up, it's mostly shoulder. I go over and I go down. Now I'm at my solar plexus. So the thumb is not on the chest anymore. It's towards the shoulder, and then it comes down, it's towards it. So you're making like a square the other way. Try it like 5 times. Yeah. Like a circle. You can think of a circle, a forward and backward circle. That can be another way of doing it. That's it, Karen. Yeah. Nice, Aaron. Nice. Nice, Eric. Nice. Okay, good. No, guys, it's not bad. Watch. Okay, so try to do, so now you combine the two. You can combine it. So I go like left and right, and then forward and backwards. So forward and backwards, left and right. Try it. Just try a few like that. You can stay on your knees or you can go in a full push-up. It depends how you feel. You're working so many small muscles here, so many fine muscles and body control. Pay attention to where the rough points are. Pay attention, like watch where there's not as smooth. Awesome, guys. Very good. Good, good, good. Okay, come. So a small correction for some for you to think about, okay? There's certain things that I see people do with a push-up that limit them. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So here's me in a push-up, right? What do most people do? The shoulders come forward and they do this, right? And essentially their shoulders are here, which grab your attention. But in my back, what's happened is my shoulder blades or my rhomboids are inverted. They're pinched in my back. So I've locked my shoulder blades and I'm doing push-ups. How many times have you seen people do push-ups like that? Locked rhomboids. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, so watch when I come up here, I open my back. Like what I'm doing at the top is I'm going past the 90 degrees and opening my shoulder blades. So what I want is when I do my push-ups that my shoulder blades are not pinched behind me. They're and I open them. And when I come down, they close. I open them and then they close. Guys, this is the secret to a good pull-up and it's a secret to a good handstand. Okay, if you want to study handstands, the key to the handstand is the shoulder blades. The key to a good push-up is the shoulder blades, not the shoulder blades. If they're stuck on the ribs, they don't move smoothly, okay? So I want you to really try it now, just before we move on. Get into a push-up, okay? Relax your shoulders, relax your shoulder blades behind you, okay? Push the ground, come up to 90 degrees. And now push deeper and open those shoulder blades. Yeah, feel, that's how they should feel. And then go back down. Now you're going to feel them close naturally, not lock, close, and then open them. So they're moving. The shoulder blades and the rhomboids are moving in your back. They're not locked. It's not a shoulder push-up. Push-up is a body felt, right? Awesome, guys. Awesome. Much better. How'd that feel? That feel better? It felt different? Have any of you ever struggled with doing pull-ups? Okay, so a good way to begin pull-ups is, just show you for a sec, is you grab the bar, right? See it from here. And what I do is I just move my rhomboids. I just move my shoulder blades. So as I'm hanging on the bar, I'm not bending my elbows or my shoulders. I'm relaxing my rhomboids, I'm tightening them. I'm relaxing them, I'm tightening them. And I'm getting this movement in my shoulder blades, because what do people do when they do a pull-up? They go shoulder, right? And you can't do that. It's got to be the rhomboids in the back pulling, okay? So without a pull-up, you can just hang and work with your rhomboids and get those. Does that make sense? So hard to show you without it, but if you try it, you'll kind of figure that out, okay? But I wouldn't worry, because I'm probably going to end up putting a series together of that stuff that'll help you guys. It's really good. Handstand is a wonderful thing to be able to do, and a good pull-up. Now, how many of you can't do a pull-up? Come on. Very good, Aaron. Good. Can you do one? Karen, can you do a pull-up? Karen. There she is.
Sorry. I used to be able to back in the boxing days,
I'm
but
just-
I haven't tried one now.
So I'm going to tell you how I teach a pull-up. I want you to, because I never want you guys to be in this position, okay? I was in a boat that capsized, okay? And it was a small boat. It was about 5 of us in there, okay? And it was fun until people realized, how do you pull yourself up out of the boat and back into the boat? It's a pull-up, okay? And I pulled myself up. I helped every single person get themselves back in the boat. If I wasn't there, nobody would have been able to get back in that boat, because you're wet and you're heavy, okay? Study to do one good pull-up just to save your life, not for any other reason. But in case you got to pull yourself to safety, you got to be able to do this. This is an important reason why. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about doing 100 pull-ups or being in gymnastics and doing the flag and all this other stuff. But at least be able to do it to save your life. Just one really good one. Like one that'll save your life, that good, okay? So I'll show you guys how to do that. It's not that hard, but that's the way I teach a pull-up. It's not as a benchmark, but as a survival thing. We should know how to do that for sure, okay? So we'll work with that. Okay, almost there. Lie down on your back. My favorite part of training. Okay. Okay, put your legs together, lift them up, straight up, right? Yeah, mute if you haven't. There you go. Yeah, straight up, right? Put it straight back down. Okay, so you're never going to do that again. That's the straight the middle. Now your leg's going to go 10 degrees to the left or to the right. It doesn't matter. So it's not exactly straight, and you're going to lift it up again and then down. Okay, and then change it again in a different angle, lift it up and put it down. Okay, pay attention to what happens to your upper body. Make sure that your arms and shoulders always stay relaxed, no matter which way you're lifting it up. Okay, and you'll notice that there's these little muscles in the stomach and in the ribs and in the waist and in the low back that need to relax and need to work. Okay, good. Watch me for a sec, guys. Watch me. So everybody talks about the leg raise as an ab workout, as some sort of an ab thing. I'm going to tell you, for me, it's nothing to do with abs. Okay, I'm going to walk you through kind of what's going on in my head, but hopefully you guys can see it from this angle, right? Yeah, there you go. So my arms are an important part of this. So as I lift up, okay, my arms are pushing into the mat, okay? As I go to the left in this side, my left side is pushing and my right side is also pushing to ground me, So right now I've got more focus here, less focus here, but I'm still touching. As everything switches, I get heavy here and I get light over here. And I'm trying to control the movement from here. It's easy to hear. This part's easy, but as it gets lower, I have to control that. So actually, the left and right, or the angled versions of the leg raise, involve the upper body much more than the abs. Okay, so lie down. I want you to feel that. Lie down on your backs, open up your arms, put some weight into your arms so that you feel them on the ground. Lift up your legs straight up. Good. Now, slowly move them to the left or to the right and let that bottom half push into the ground with the arms to slow it down. There you go. And now to lift it, push into the ground, find power there. Very good, Eric. Nice, Karen. Nice. Yeah. So the real work is that last quarter, that last little bit before you touch the ground. You got to find a way to pressurize your arms so that they can hold that position smoothly. Mira, that's awesome. That's really good. That's good work. Awesome, guys. Look over here for a second. Watch me for a second. Miro, keep going. Keep going. It just what's Miro? This is very interesting. Eric, you came really close. Both are really good. So look how he swings his legs, right? And look how close he comes to the ground, moves across it. And all that, guys, is the upper body. That's Miro. Look how stable his upper body is. Okay. So he finds strength in the upper body and he gives that strength to the stomach so that the hips can relax and move the legs smoothly. Okay. And the pressure is not equal. As those legs go to the right side, the opposite side has to pressurize. So there's a real interesting play. You wanted as smooth as that. That's really smooth. Eric, you were close. That was really hard. Both of you were doing it really well. But try this, guys, for a sec. Try to see if you can get an inch off the ground and put more pressure into your upper body. It's not an ab workout. This is about controlling the pressure of your upper body to support your lower body. Not bad, guys. Really good. Keep going. Just like 20 seconds more. Just try it. Awesome, guys. Good. Come around. That's good. Just wanted you to try it, and you did it perfectly. Did it feel better? Did it feel a little bit easier?
Yeah.
Felt better, right? So this idea and this concept of understanding things as rather than tension, as a fullness or as a pressure. Okay. And because you're on the ground, it's easy to feel pressure when you're on the ground because you can push into it, right? It's different when you're waiting on somebody to grab you because that's a different pressure. You don't know how hard they'll grab, but the ground, you know how hard the ground will be, so you can modulate the pressure, right? So imagine instead of doing the basic exercises you've been doing forever, push-ups, squats, leg raises, body raises, all the stuff that the typical things we do in system of the walking and the breathing, you now say, instead of going drastic, I'm going to make a small change. I'm going to focus on left and right. I'm going to focus on in and out with more detail. I'm going to focus on, rather than up and down movements, I'm going to focus on like circular movements, right? Forward and backwards with my legs, with my squats, with my upper body. You're going to get much more feedback about where the work that you need to do is, okay? And it becomes a little bit more dynamic, which is how the martial arts is. When people grab you or punch you or kick you, there's lots more circular movements involved. So it'll become a little bit more familiar to the body. Does that make sense, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a practice that if done, try to do it if you can all week until we see each other next Friday. Try to practice it just even for 5 minutes on each one of these things. And I bet you're going to go to the class in a different frame of mind. You're going to be a lot more prepared. Okay. Any questions, guys? Anything for me? Like, did you enjoy it? Was it okay?
Enjoy
The
it very much.
physical, remember, we're building up. The physical, I know we all know, but we want to go like a little bit up in the quality, right? Next Friday, I'll have another array of exercises that are like this, okay? That will start to challenge your understanding of intention. Like, what's your intention of training? What's your purpose of training? It starts to challenge not just the muscles, but your mind as well, okay? Like challenging how to break your habits and how to get out of your routines and how to know that you need a little bit of change to grow a little bit. There's some different perspectives, right? Think of it like a distillation. Think of it like every time you do it, it should be a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Not harder, but better and better and better and better.
Yeah,
Good.
so good. Good.
Good.
Very nice.
Thank you, guys. So like I said, I'll post it probably tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, the next day, I'll try to do it as fast as I can. And then stay tuned. I'm attending, Love, you know, Vlad's got a health and combat seminar. I'm attending that. And on the
Yeah.
weekend, so I'll share with you that as well. Whatever I learn from that, I'll make sure I share it with you and give it to you guys as
Nice.
well. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much, always so much information. I never know what you're going to get. So I'll share all that with you guys. Just do this as part of a practice that you can try for about 4 weeks. And then it'll allow us to much easier go into the kind of the less physical and the more mental work in October and November, get into maybe more the, you could say spiritual, but kind of like purposeful work, right? Let me share with you before you go a funny thing that happened yesterday. Okay, so we were training outdoors yesterday, okay? And we were training outside with my guys, and I showed up to the park really early, not about half hour before class, just to stretch out. And I was lying there like this on the ground. I didn't tell anybody. Maybe I'll write about it on the forum. I'm lying on the ground like this, just enjoying the beautiful weather, breathing, and I'm watching the clouds and these birds. And as I'm sitting there in this moment of utter joy, a big seagull passed over top and just took a shit. And
Really?
I just turned like that, and boom, it hit exactly where my head would have been. I was like, see, even in the moment of my complete relaxation, somebody tried to shit on me. Anyway, it was really funny. That's so, I laughed my face off when it happened. I was like, boy, I'm glad I'm aware. If I was yawning, I would have missed that. Man, that would have been. But you need your self-defense. That's the only time I needed it yesterday. I swear to God. And I was like, how do I write about this? I don't even know. It's just so wrong. But there was an incredible amount of awareness and I was completely relaxed. I saw the whole thing happen. I was like, wow. And then I just moved. No panic, no nothing. I should write a book on that one. Avoid the shit. Anyway, thanks, guys. I'll see you next week, okay? Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Manny.
Bye, guys. All the best.